Hi, my name's Kyle. Welcome to my bus. It's a 2006 Thomas. It's got about 218,000 miles on it, and we've been on the road for about 6 or 7 months now, and she's running great. Before even having a family, I've always loved traveling. Right before COVID, someone really important to me in my life, who is my uncle, had dementia, and I became his caregiver. And then when he finally passed away, I remember on that day, I called Andy and I told her, you know, life is way too short. I want to do something big with us as a family together. I had been watching a lot of YouTube videos of people following their dreams and schoolies and this kind of culture. And we both thought that was something that would be really fun and exciting and life affirming to do. It's a front engine, which is what we like, gives you much more interior space. I took the bifold door, I welded it together, and made one single door, which is much easier to secure, but I did want to keep the aesthetics of the bus. I wanted it to look like a bus. The only things I really did besides paint it on the front is I changed out and put some LED blinkers, and I took out the flashers on both sides and added some other floodlights so that we'd have some nice light coming into campgrounds at night. Instead of deleting any windows, you'll see a couple of them here and there. They're all tinted, but when I didn't want them on the inside, all I did was spray paint them black from the inside, insulate over them. So from the outside, it still looks exactly like a school bus, minus the color change. For the interior, we just added Blink camera doorbell. Helps just keep security. We can check on the bus. If we're away from it, someone clicks that, it goes straight to our phone. This is one of the side cameras. So there's actually 4 of them, one in the front, one on each side, and then one in the back. Really helps for reversing. On here, I have a spray port I added. This is really helpful when you're at the beach or somewhere where you want to spray down the kids. You can just plug right in here and then wash off your feet. Here is one of our gray tanks, and I have 2 separate tanks. This back gray tank, I call it, but it's probably technically a black tank, goes to our shower, and I have in the toilet a urine diverter. This is obviously a handicap wheelchair access, which we took out. I specifically wanted this because when you pull up on the passenger side, if you pull up to a nice beach, you can open this door. I have a special magnetic lock, so I press this button, it pops open, and then we can lay in our bed and look at the ocean or lake or anything else that we want to watch. Also, right below our bed, I have all my water connections and setup. How I plumbed it, how I brought in the water, and all of these decisions were super complicated for me as I'm not a plumber. So shout out to Schoolie Support. Justin helped me a ton, who's behind the camera now. When the water comes in, I actually have this 3-way valve so I can send water directly into the system if I want, or I have the option to send it straight into the tank. I have a 7-gallon electric Bosch water heater, which is also suggested by Schoolie Support. We have plenty of solar on the roof to power everything. So for me, it just made total sense to keep it all electric. We have 2 electric e-bikes. This is basically our transport, highly recommend. The only thing I did back here is change out the lights to all LED, a little bit brighter, a little bit more safety focused. To support the bikes, I have a heavy duty tow hitch that I installed underneath there. Part of the reason why we wanted to build our own instead of just buy an RV or, you know, buy a plane ticket to Europe was to have that connection. As an artist and as a builder in my past, I wanted to make something personally that I was proud of, maybe even more importantly, something that my family would be very comfortable in and happy in. Come to the driver's side, welcome. Here we have our water fill. I highly recommend getting a metal one. I didn't like the cheap plastic ones. You use this a lot. You don't want it cracking or breaking on you. The other things I did here is I installed 2 underbody storage boxes. These have been awesome. I use them a ton. This is all of our gray tank, our drain hoses. This is obviously our electrical hookup. Same suggestion, stick with metal if you can. Don't get the cheap plastic ones. You are screwing into this daily, in and out. Highly recommend the metal. This is the other underbody. This is where I keep my electrical. So I keep my dirty in one place that has moisture. This is all dry electrical. Like to keep it separate and safe. This is all kind of the fun bus electrical stuff for horns and air compressors and all the stuff that runs the bus. We have 2,400 watts of solar. So like I mentioned earlier, we're all electric and we've got tons of capability to bring in the sun in the form of electricity into the bus. On the top, I also painted it with a special elastomeric coating, which helps seal any possible cracks. And it supposedly helps with a reflective coating to help cool down the bus. And now, the inside. So right when you first come in, you have a place to grab. There's a little cubby here. Storage is everything when you're living small. So there's little spots to store, grab the dog leash, maybe a pair of shoes, stuff like that. I really wanted to keep the driver cockpit as original as possible, but I wanted the entry to feel much more homey. I didn't want to feel like you're walking into a bus. This was really difficult to get all the angles, but I'm really happy we did. We have a nice little counter when you walk in to set stuff, and it's really pretty. I installed a stereo in there, which runs off of Bluetooth. So when we're driving, I'll magnet my phone here. It has a little charge. That's our navigation. It runs over to the Bluetooth where we have music that we can listen to, and there's 2 more speakers behind you. Here we have our little knickknacks and our little treasures we picked up, little rocks, figurines, different things that were fun and we'll remember the trip from. Above the driver's compartment, I have my little space, generally just sunglasses and registration, insurance. Here's where those cameras feed into. So backup and side, which are really helpful for blind spots when you're driving a big vehicle. I also added a little light here for myself at night if I need to read a map or anything like that. Probably my proudest moment, disregard all the woodwork, all the year of labor. That was really great. My proudest moment is this button right here. It's the cucaracha horn. It needed to be done. Secretly, you probably didn't see this, but just in case there's some bad guys out there, I keep a little bit of pepper spray right next to the driver's seat. Here's the sofa. There actually is 3 seat belt sections here. So if you pull this back and you look under here, you have sections for seat belts. Underneath the sofa is all of the electronic components. I have 270 amp hours. 2 of them run together for 24 volts. I have my inverter, which does a lot of inverting, which is great. But as you can tell, it's not my forte. So Schooly Support helped a ton with helping me lay this out, making sure my levels were correct, that I had enough power, didn't overdo it. And I really appreciate them making this possible for me. I have holes in the side, vented. There's also an extra vent that will suck hot air out of the bottom of the bus because it does get warm in there.
Oh, hey there, this is Justin from Mobile Dwellings, and I've got to interrupt you, Kyle, real quick to tell you, the viewer, about Schooly Support. It's a place, well, it's a website where you can get one-on-one help from myself and other professional bus builders such as Chuck Cassidy. But also there you will find exclusive discounts and my favorite products for sale at wholesalers like Signature Solar. This is where I buy all of my off-grid components because they've got the best prices, great warranty support, great customer service support, and a great selection. You can use my code MobileDwellings50 at checkout for $50 off your order, but this coupon code may change in the future, so be sure to check at SchoolySupport.com for an updated code and an updated list of my favorite products. Thank you guys so much for your support. Back to you, Kyle.
Moving directly across from the sofa, you have our dinette. This was, for me, as far as seated while we're driving, was the safest way because it's facing forward and backwards. There's seat belts, one set on both sides, and the baby sits on one side in his car seat, and Leon will sit on the other side in his. Underneath, all of these pop up. There's tons of storage. It's also where we obviously eat our dinner and hang out, and when we're parked somewhere, this is where we kind of enjoy our time together. Lighting for me is super important. As an artist, I want lights always on a dimmer, so they're always indirect lighting and everything in the bus is on a dimmer. Aesthetic-wise, I'm a huge fan of mid-century modern, and Justin was a huge inspiration on his bus because he used this beautiful Baltic birch plywood on the ceiling. And then as we get into the back, you'll see on some of the walls and in the bathroom, I used a product, it's called SmartCrete. It's a micro cement. It's a fantastic product. I'm super happy with it. Like I said, we've been 6 months on the road. I don't have any cracks or any problems with the product itself. Storage is everything. So this is where my kid, Leon, keeps most of his school supplies, which are very important with kids, is having power points everywhere so they don't run electrical cables across. So this is a nice little push-up electrical outlet. The bus we're currently in is bus number 2, also known as Caballo Verde, which means the green horse in Spanish. The full build took right around a year. Total into the bus, not including my time, I guesstimate around 50 grand. When we were still in Mexico, we went to an auction site. I bought bus number 1. I had a mechanic in Oklahoma check it out. He said, everything's great, it's fine. And he just mentioned an oil pressure issue with the knowledge of the first mechanic telling me everything was fine. I did a full build. With the help of Schoolie Support and Justin, I did bus 1 and it was beautiful. We got to the end, it was about 90% done. I took it to my local mechanic and the first thing he did was tell me there was a major issue with the engine. There was gonna be no easy way to fix it. It was a foundational issue with this particular engine. It's a max force engine. There was no way to fix it, and that led us to bus number 2. Building 2 buses made bus number 2 much better. I'm very proud of bus number 1, but bus 2 is really amazing in my heart and my mind. For our kids, especially the 10-year-old, it's really important for him to see that this is life. You're gonna have unforeseen challenges no matter how dramatic they are. If you carry on and keep pushing, you can succeed. And so that life lesson was a big motivator for us to continue and do it. Welcome to the kitchen. I got a wide base sink. We have a 2-year-old, so it's really helpful for his bath time. This one came with a cutting board and a dry rack, which we love. I built in a soap dispenser and a purified freshwater drinking. It's a quartz countertop. Also having it feel very homey is what I wanted. A little bit modern, mid-century modern is kind of the style we're going for. Over here, across from the kitchen, obviously is our fridge. We have a Dometic fridge. It's self-locking. I highly recommend personally, if you're gonna have an RV or a build like this, you do something that is built for boats or RVs so it can move and shake and the doors don't open up on you. Here we have a built-in pull-out pantry. Storage is everything once again, so it's nice to have a bunch of extra storage, spice rack, backup food. We got plenty of options. Behind this cane webbing, you probably didn't even notice it, but in here stores our Starlink router. Next to that is our Webasto diesel heater control. So it's hidden behind a wood door, but also allows that signal to come out. We have uppers across the top here, stores cups, extra stuff that we need for cooking. And then obviously across the bottom, it's all full of cabinets. We went with a full row of 3 rows of cabinets. One tip that I would add that Schoolie Support gave me is I would stick with the IKEA cabinets. If you're a professional builder and you love building cabinets, do that. But IKEA makes a great base, and all we did was face them. Also, one final feature I'd add is we added these magnetic baby locks on them. So what happens is up here with our cups, we have a little magnet. When we go moving, it keeps them nice and locked for us. And then you just put a magnet over and you can turn it off. We've got uppers here, we've got uppers across. In here is kind of electronics, messy drawer. At the end of the countertop, I have an induction electric cooktop. This one was cheap, it was on Amazon. Works great for us for what we need. One more element I'm really kind of proud of is this curved wall. This, we took a piece of plywood and we kerf cut the back every 1/4 inch, and we're able to bend the plywood very slowly. And then we put on the same SmartCrete material on it. Moving from the fridge over, we have the kids' rooms. On top, I have my 10-year-olds. On the bottom, we have the 2-year-old, the baby, a little bit shorter. With that extra space, we built in some cabinets for them. You might be wondering what this is in the 2-year-old's room. He likes to look out it, but it's actually a step for my 10-year-old to climb in and out. A quick neurotic Kyle fact about the bus. All of these ovals I cut are all proportionally scaled to size. So they're the exact same oval, just different sizes. This is where we have our hanging clothes for the wifey. When you open this side, automatic light and the mirror. We have I have top 2 drawers, and my wife has the bottom 2 drawers. Bathroom tour, obviously all of the walls and the ceiling is that same SmartCrete material. We love it, it's waterproof, so you can use it in here. We have the Airhead composting toilet. The solids go in the back in the container, and the liquids go down into that tank. Underneath this teak flooring, there's a drain underneath here that drains for the shower, and then here's the liquids from the toilet. The question everyone's gonna ask about this toilet and composting, does it smell? I had the same worry. My wife was very concerned about it. Does not smell at all. This is the shower. We have the Nebia by Moen. It's a low flow. Schoolie Support suggested this one for me. You feel like you're taking a shower, but you're not using a lot of water, which works great. I put a couple cutouts notes in the build. Right now it's just some toilet paper, but when it's in shower mode, you got your shampoo, conditioner, and whatnot. In here, I have the Maxxair. It's a small dome fan. It has ventilation, and it has this fancy light that goes on and off. My favorite places, I'm from California my whole life. I love the beach, I love surfing. So Big Sur was top of my list. And I think probably my other favorite, I've been really surprised with Louisiana. I really liked Lafayette, that was really cool. And a close second or matching would definitely be Charleston, Savannah so far.
My favorite, I think, so far is Sedona. I'm just like very impressed with the view and with the vibe and everything around. And I can't wait to be in Zion.
Welcome to the bedroom. We love it so much. Whenever we do stay at a hotel or at a friend's house, we miss our bed. You have another oval stepping hole that you use for my wife to get up into bed and down so we don't hit anything. And here, this is for all of our dirty clothes. Same thing, power points for electrical. It's gotta be even, Steven. Wife has one, I have one. We have our little reading lights, Maxxair fan here, really great at warm evenings. And then this is our mini split. The wifey made some nice blinds. We just have them in our bedrooms. That's where we need them. And we have a insulating material on the inside. So when you roll them up and set them down, it's a full blackout, and it does help a little bit with heat or cold, keeping it in or out. And that's on all three of the windows here in our bedroom, so we do have full privacy back here. To now be living in the bus traveling is amazing. I even look back just a month or two ago while we're still on the trip, looking back, and the photos we have and the memories is fantastic. You know, there's up days, there's down days. Life still carries on being life, always, and it always will. The way I see it, in your life, you're probably gonna get 40 to 50 good years. So I highly recommend you take at least one of those and go after whatever your dream. At the end of your life, when you're laying on your deathbed, you will not regret that year, but you don't wanna die wondering, that's for sure. Thanks so much for coming aboard. I hope you liked it. If you want to see what we're doing or where we're at, young.roamers on Instagram.